Day 1. Home for the holidays. I'd always loved returning to my parents' house for Christmas. Even with the dust in the corners, the musty, pine-scented carpet, and the creaky floorboards that sang underfoot, it felt like a warm, familiar pocket of time we all stepped back into each December. Kendall and I had just arrived after a brutal 5-hour drive through what the weatherman called an unseasonal Arctic front. The snow came fast and thick, blanketing the roads and the woods leading up to our old farmhouse like nature trying to erase us. "You okay?" Kendall asked as we pulled into the long gravel driveway. She gave my hand a squeeze. "Yeah," I nodded. "Just feels heavier this year." She smiled but didn't answer. I think she felt it too. The house, old and looming against the grey sky, didn't look quite right. One of the porch lights flickered rhythmically, like a warning. Inside, warmth, familiar scents. My mom yelling my name over the clatter of pots. My dad clapping my shoulder in that way that meant he missed me, but didn't have the words. Jackie and her husband Taylor were already there, half sunk into the couch with mugs of eggnog, laughing about something dumb. And then there was Georgie. He was sitting by the fireplace, staring into the flames, stiff-backed, hands folded in his lap. He didn't even look up when we came in. I hadn't seen him since Easter, and even then he'd been weird, quiet, disconnected. But now, something was off. "Georgie," I said, walking over. He turned to me slowly, too slowly. His head tilted first, then the rest of his body followed. When his eyes met mine, I felt the hairs on my neck rise. It was like looking into a painting of my brother, not the real thing. He gave me a smile that didn't touch his eyes. "Jason," he said. That was it. Flat, monotone, like someone trying the name on for size. That night Kendall and I settled into the upstairs guest room. Same room I used to sleep in as a teenager, complete with posters of old bands and a faded desk lamp that still hummed when turned on. She was brushing her hair at the vanity while I changed clothes. That's when I heard it. A voice, quiet, whispering. "Jason." I froze, looked around. "Did you hear that?" "Hear what?" Kendall asked, pausing mid-brush. I thought someone said my name." The floor creaked outside our door. I opened it. Nothing there. But the hallway felt colder than it should have. Still air, unmoving. Just as I turned to close the door, I caught something in the mirror behind Kendall, a shadow just over her shoulder. When I looked again, it was gone. Day 2. A crack appears. The snowstorm had gotten worse overnight. Outside, the world was a sheet of white. No going anywhere. Dad had tried to dig out the cars early in the morning, but came in with frostbite on his ears. We were snowed in. Georgie didn't come down for breakfast. Jackie tried his door and called for him. No answer. Eventually, she opened it. "He's not in here," she said. "What do you mean?" I asked, standing beside her. "His bed hasn't been touched. Windows open." I looked at the snow outside. No footprints. Just a thick, untouched layer like a sealed vault. There was no way he went out without disturbing it. No way. We searched the house. Every room. Every closet. No Georgie. Until lunchtime. That's when we saw him. Outside. Standing in the snow. Facing the woods. Kendall saw him first and screamed. We rushed to the door. Georgie was about 50 feet away, just standing there, not moving, not answering. Dad yelled his name, no response. Then, without a word, Georgie turned and walked back toward the tree line, disappearing into the grey blur of snow and pines. We didn't follow. Voices in the walls. That evening, things began to shift. It started small, the clocks in the house ticking at different rhythms. One was even ticking backward. The radio in the kitchen kept turning on by itself, playing static. I unplugged it. It turned on again. Then, the voices. Faint, distant, familiar. Sometimes I heard Kendall calling me from downstairs, only to find her right beside me. Taylor swore he heard Mom sobbing in the laundry room, but she was asleep upstairs. Jackie said she saw Georgie walking into the basement, but the door was locked from the outside. Reflections weren't behaving right either. I passed by the hallway mirror and noticed my reflection was a second behind. My hand moved, but the reflection moved after. A lag, like a glitch in reality. I didn't sleep that night. Neither did Kendall. Day 3. Georgie returns. In the early morning hours, we found Georgie sitting at the kitchen table, wrapped in a blanket. "I got lost," he said, "in the woods." No one knew how he got back in. The doors had been locked, snow untouched. He didn't have frostbite, not even a scratch. His clothes were dry. Something wasn't right. Jackie didn't say anything to him, just stared. And later, she pulled me aside. "That's not Georgie," she whispered. "What are you talking about?" "I saw him in the mirror last night. His reflection. It smiled when he wasn't, like it was glad." Everything breaks. That afternoon, the power cut out. Darkness clung to the rooms like mold. Kendall was crying softly. Taylor wouldn't speak. My mum was praying. The entire house felt warped, like the walls were closing in. The mirrors, the TV screen, even the polished toaster began showing things they shouldn't. Not us, not quite. In the bathroom mirror, I saw myself standing in the corner behind me, except I wasn't. I turned, no one there. When I looked back, the reflection was smiling. The truth comes through. It all culminated that final night. We gathered in the living room, huddled near the fireplace. My parents, Jackie, Taylor, Kendall, me, and Georgie, or the thing that looked like him. He stood. "I saw something in the woods," he said. The room quieted. It looked like me, but it wasn't. It watched me, studied me, followed me home. We all stared. "I think it got in before I did," he said. "I think one of us isn't who we think we are." Silence. Then, from upstairs, laughter, my voice. "Jason," Jackie said, stepping back. "Didn't you go outside that first night?" I froze. A memory surfaced, blurred and broken. That night, when I thought I heard something, I'd stepped outside, just for a second. A shape in the trees, black water, slipping, falling, hands dragging me up, but I never saw who pulled me out. Kendall looked at me, her eyes wide. "Jason, where's your reflection?" I turned slowly to the hallway mirror. It was empty, no reflection. Just a word, written in fogged breath across the glass. Mimic. And then, everything went black. Epilogue. 1 week later. The house had been yellow taped. Search parties were out seeking out any sign of Jason, his wife, sister, brother-in-law, parents, and Georgie. They found the house empty. No bodies, no signs of a struggle. Just a house full of mirrors. As Detective Cairo searched the hallway of a once cozy and loving home, she stumbled upon a hallway filled with mirrors. They seemed to be intentionally put there where they face each other. She studied the mirrors for a few minutes, and things just didn't seem right. Something felt off, and this creepy feeling of being watched crept up. Her body felt stiff, and the hair on the back of her neck stood up. She rubbed the back of her neck and had an urge to turn around. She slowly turned to look at the mirror behind her, and there was Georgie. Her breath hitched and her heart skipped a beat as she jumped back a bit in terror. As she turned her head in each mirror, she saw the entire family, their reflections not quite lining up, smiling just a second too late. Meanwhile, Jason, Kendall, Jackie, Taylor, their parents and Georgie roamed the dark ether parallel to their current existence, screaming, crying, scratching, hoping Detective Cairo could hear them. The end